streaming live, tackling the topics everyone's talking about online. Share, engage, interact. This is Newsfeed Now.
Hey everyone, it's Tuesday, March 19th. Welcome to Newsfeed Now, where we tackle some of the most talked about stories across the South. I'm Suzanne Bruner in for Aaron Nolan today, and it's the week of madness, March Madness that is, and if you're like me, you probably have a bracket like this one here at work. I haven't filled it out just yet, but I need to very soon because the first game happens today. But in about 5 minutes, we're going to talk about strategies. How do you pick which team advances to the Final Four and then eventually the championships? Is by mascot, school colors, a place you prefer to visit? Let me know right now by using the hashtag Newsfeed. Now, I know you guys have your phone on you, so connect with us. It's a fun way to get into this bracket challenge. I know some of you have probably entered into a pool hoping to win some cash in the end. So speaking of cash, though, you know, when you take a look at the games, it seems like everybody involved is making the big bucks except the players. The NCAA is projected to earn about $1 billion this year in TV rights for the men's basketball tournament alone, but players get no money, only the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat. Bree Jackson takes a deeper look at why some lawmakers want to change that.
Big-time college sports programs attract cheering fans and bring millions of dollars to schools each year. But college athletes get nothing. No TV money, no money when their name or picture is used to sell tickets or even video games. Some lawmakers say that's not right.
I believe in free markets, and I think that's what's made America great.
Congressman Mark Walker says he's introduced a bill that would allow college athletes to earn money, not from the schools, but from outside companies.
If those folks want to go back home and work somewhere on the side to be able to have access to that likeness, they're allowed to do so.
Under current NCAA rules, student athletes can receive scholarships, but they stand to lose their eligibility if they sign endorsement deals. Walker wants to change that and provide income to star athletes and those that may never play professionally.
In theory, that sounds great.
But Lisa Delpy-Narati, sports management professor at George Washington University, says benefits should be strictly tied to education. She says adding outside money to the mix could lead to corruption, and it's certainly a distraction.
Signing autographs, doing photo shoots, commercials. These take hours.
Narati says scholarships are expensive and schools aren't getting rich on athletics.
The majority of universities are losing money.
Supporters of the bill say it provides opportunities for students, but opponents say only a small number of players would benefit.
All right, so I want to bring in Bree now. She's joining us from Washington, D.C. Hey, Bree, how are you doing?
Good, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for being on here. Thanks so much. To be clear, though, you know, Congressman Walker is not suggesting schools pay players, right? He wants to specifically remove the ban that keeps others from paying players. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right. When I spoke with Congressman Walker, that's what he was emphasizing. He was saying it's not having the schools pay the students. This is allowing students to go to outside companies. So if you're a baseball player and you want to participate in a summer camp or host your own summer camp and use your likeness to promote that summer camp, that's what he's suggesting people be able to do just so that they can make money off of their likeness, which he said NCAA is already doing.
I see, I see. Does Congressman Walker have a lot of support on this?
Well, this is bipartisan legislation. Congressman Walker is a Republican out of North Carolina, and interestingly, Cedric Richmond, a Democrat out of Louisiana, who played baseball in college, he signed on to this as well. So it does have bipartisan support, and it does seem to be picking up some steam now. Spoke with Congressman Walker. He did say that he spoke with Condoleezza Rice and some other NCAA officials about this. So he seems optimistic, but you know, this is a debate that the NCAA has heard for decades, and it is a little bit of a twist, being that it's a third party paying the students, but it's still something that they are saying they've called the bill unnecessary. They don't think it needs to go through.
Yeah, you know, opponents, they're bringing this up and they say this is a distraction. Did they elaborate more on that and how it could impact the student and student athletes?
Well, there's a couple of things that opponents are bringing up. One, with the distraction part, they're saying that, you know, students are going to be more focused on getting money, you know, getting money from their likeness. instead of what they're there for, which is an education. They emphasize it's student athlete, you're a student first. And other opponents that I spoke with, they said that the benefits that students are getting from their scholarships are more than most students are getting. So, where's the need for this extra money to come in? Those are some of the key points that people are bringing up. And then they're also bringing up the possibility of corruption. They're saying, well, will this mean that students are going to get agents or someone else that can advocate for them to try to set up these jobs, and that could lead to some form of corruption. So opponents are just saying that this is not necessary and that there's just a bad path that it could go down.
And Bree, you know what I just learned before Newsfeed Now? I heard that you actually played D1 basketball. Would you mind sharing with us maybe your personal thoughts on this? Or where you think players see this going?
On a personal level, I can see both sides. As a student athlete, I played at the University of Maryland, which is a D1 school. So we were there, we had classes from 9 to 12 and then practice for the rest of the day. You have practice, you have weightlifting, you have study hall. So there's not a lot of opportunities outside to just make money on your own. And I think a key point that some people are saying is that, not all students are there on a full scholarship. So like basketball players, most of those people on that team were there on a full scholarship. But when you think about the smaller sports like tennis and soccer at some of these schools, those students are on partial scholarships or may not get any scholarships at all. So I think supporters are saying, those are the students that this would benefit the most, or that could see the benefits of this. But then, opponents do have a point. It's just like I left college debt free. I got a full ride, so I didn't have to pay for school. And I can understand where people are coming from when they're saying you're there for an education and school's paying for that, and that should be enough. So I can honestly see both sides, but I'm not going to say where I stand on it.
Yeah, it's definitely a controversial topic. A lot of people talking about it today. Bree, thanks so much for joining us on Newsfeed Now and letting us know all about this from D.C.
All right. Good luck with the tournament, guys.
All right. Thanks so much. Yeah, speaking of that, if you have a bracket, take it out right now. I've got mine. Like I said, I haven't filled it out yet. If this is your first March Madness, perfect, because I have someone who can help us out here. So I would like to bring in Joe Morano from Springfield, who's all about college basketball. He's an expert at these brackets, and he wins every year. Right?
Exactly. That's what everyone thinks, right?
I wish I could say that about myself.
My game tape right now, everything going right now. This is, I love how much productivity the office loses when it comes to this
right?
stuff, right? And so,
actually, I think it increases productivity, right?
That's true. It's good for us. We get to talk about this stuff, right?
Yeah. Okay, hey, so let's, on a serious note, though, I mean, are you an expert at this? I mean, do you win all the time?
I picked the wrong champ last year, otherwise I would have won.
Okay.
I've been first all the way through. It was very nice, but
I won one year, so that's good. What's your strategy?
Oh man, I like just looking at all the trends, and I really want to track this with some other folks in the office. I really want them to pick based on color and see if picking out specific things, see which one of us wins out. Because I do look at the things like a double-digit seed always makes it to the second weekend, or a 2 seed always loses in the first weekend, at least one of them, for the last 10 years. So I look at things like that. So then I take that and think, okay, Michigan State, Michigan, Tennessee, which one of them is going to lose this coming weekend? No.
I take a look at the seeds as well. So looking at our matchups today, we have the Temple Owls versus the Belmont Bruins. What's your take on that one?
I really think I like Belmont a lot over Temple. I just feel like Temple's schedule is a little bit weaker. Belmont, they're one of those teams that really fought for the right to get in the dance and really politic for it and things like that. But I think their schedule is a little bit harder, even beyond the metrics that you have there. So I think I'm taking them to advance and play Maryland. And I think they could also beat Maryland, too.
You could. Okay. Well, let me see here. I haven't picked one yet. Some people actually choose on mascots as well. Like maybe I might prefer an owl over the Bruin. I don't know. It's really interesting, though. And you brought up colors as well. Also, people are like, would I like to go to that spot? Would I like to vacation in that area? That's how people choose. It's amazing.
Hey, UC Irvine, great mascot, the anteater, and also in California. in Irvine, California. You can't go wrong with that, right?
Can't go wrong with that one. Okay, one more for you. We've got the FDU Knights and Prairie View Panthers. Who do you have on that?
I think this is just, I don't know, because I think the winner of this game is just going to fall to Gonzaga in a couple of days from now.
Yeah.
So I think I'm taking Prairie View. I believe it's their first time in the tournament overall, so I think they're really going to bask in it and then just come out firing. So that should be good. I'm just excited that it starts tonight. We don't have to wait till Thursday.
Same here. I can't wait. Again, I think it kicks off at 5:40 Central Time, so definitely have to watch. Hey, I appreciate your time and telling us all about your strategy, and best of luck. I hope you win.
I hope I don't have to X out the Sharpie names too much there.
I know, same here. Thanks. Everybody's brackets are going to bust. So, all right, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Okay, so workers at an Alabama radio station believe they've been scammed out of thousands of dollars by a so-called bishop in Virginia. The man apparently owes money to people all across Virginia, and now he's struck Huntsville. Renata DeGregorio investigated.
Keep it right here on 1000 AM, where Jesus is our joy.
WDJL owner Dorothy Sandifer claims Bishop Kendrick Turner agreed to a 3-year contract and 2 commercials with her radio station.
If you want to witness the power of God, call Apostle Kendrick Turner.
But the payment never came.
And I just assumed that him being an apostle, a man of God, that he would keep his word.
After allegedly giving them the runaround promising payment, Turner blocked the station's number. He owes them more than $3,000, a big hit to the small station.
7 days a week is a lot. It's a lot. Most people, you know, might buy a good contract for a year, and it may be like coming on once a week. So yeah, this was major, and I was excited.
How many hours of work would you say you put into all the contracts?
I would say over 40 hours of work.
According to Virginia court documents, Turner owes thousands of dollars in judgments to people who took him to court, including almost $14,000 in Virginia Beach alone. WZDX News' sister station in Portsmouth has reported multiple incidents similar to the gospel stations. Sandifer plans on taking the same route with a lawyer, but says she's still holding on to hope.
I hope that he would repent and confess and do what's right and make it right with God and the people that he has really hurt.
And right now I'd like to bring in Renata from Huntsville, who covered this story. Hey, Renata, thanks for joining us on Newsfeed Now. $3,000, that's a lot of money. How is the radio station planning on recovering from the losses?
Well, I actually just called Dorothy right after I talked with you, and she said that they're not really sure right now. She's either going to look into getting an attorney today or tomorrow, but it's kind of just up in the air. She's taking it as a loss. She's trying to encourage people to maybe donate to the station if they feel like they want to and they want to help with their mission. Yeah. But it's kind of a disappointing seeming talking with her a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely disappointing for this radio station. I mean, they drafted up this contract expecting to see this money come in, but haven't even seen a dime. And in your story, you said this isn't the first time this so-called bishop allegedly scammed a radio station. This happened in Virginia. What more did you learn from their situation?
Oh man, I actually learned a lot about it because I collaborated with our sister station WAVY over in Virginia, and the reporter there has actually been following this guy, Kendrick Turner, for years, it turns out. We found some court documents that dated back to 2005 where he still owed judgments to people who did take him to court, and he had a couple different stories. Like one of them was a college student who Kendrick Turner hired him to play at his revival and then never paid him. He ended up kind of not getting any money in the end either, was going to get a lawyer, and it just kind of countless things of this keeps happening. And I talked with Dorothy, and she said she still hasn't heard from him. He blocked their number, she says, and won't respond to their Facebooks, blocked their Facebook, and they haven't been able to get a hold of him, and neither have I. I tried pretty hard since last week to try and reach out to him.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are trying to get a hold of this guy. Wow, it's been going on for years, it seems. People in Virginia pursued legal action, and now this radio station plans to follow suit. So what's next?
What's next? She said she's going to be getting an attorney, trying to get more people to hopefully donate, but she didn't sound super hopeful about being able to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
And actually found out also he was on air for 10 days, and around the third or fourth day, she said she kind of started to get a feeling that he might be kind of giving them the runaround with all the money, but they still kept him on air for like 7 more days. So they're really into, trying to fulfill their mission as a gospel radio station, and so they're hoping that just the community might be able to step up and help them. They're also hoping that Turner will somehow come around and end up giving them their money, because right now they just kind of count their losses here.
All right, Renata, thanks so much for bringing us up to speed and for following up on this story. Hope it all works out for them. All right.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you. Authorities in Alabama arrested 5 people in a Weed World Candies truck on the interstate near the community of Saraland. They're charged with possession of marijuana, but the owner of the company says there's no THC in its products. Mary Smith reports the company has been on the radar of Gulf Coast law enforcement for several years now.
It's a bit of a distracting sight to see at the side of the road. A giant, colorful truck covered with drawings of marijuana plants pulled over on I-65 North. The Weed World Candies truck is covered with provocative product names like Platinum Girl Scout cookies and Trippy Treats, even a warning sign on it saying, "Do not attempt to smoke this truck." We called the company. The owner, Bilal Muhammad, who goes by Dr. Dro, says there's no THC in any of his products. However, Saraland police tell us it found marijuana in the Weed World Candies truck pulled over on I-65 this afternoon. Muhammad says it was headed back to Atlanta, the company's headquarters. Saraland police arrested 5 people inside. Their names have not been released. The company has been on Gulf Coast law enforcement's radar for a while. According to CBS affiliate WWL, New Orleans authorities tested the company's candies for THC back in 2015. The results came back negative. Saraland police have not said whether or not it's the company's products that got 5 people arrested this afternoon.
Okay, and I'd like to bring in Devin Walsh from Mobile right now. Hey, Devin, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. You see a candy truck like that, that's definitely a double take for a lot of people. Is this a local business, or is this one that just travels all across the state or just around the area?
No, Suzanne, this is not local. I mean, this is Weed World Candies, really is a business based out of Atlanta, and they do travel across the Southeast. In fact, during Mardi Gras in New Orleans, there was practically a Weed World candy truck on every corner selling these products, which they say do not contain marijuana. It's just a way to sort of get the word out about wanting to legalize marijuana in all 50 states. So not local, they travel to Southeast.
Interesting. So it's been on the radar for several years now. What kind of reports have police been getting about this?
Well, actually the station out of New Orleans did a story and tested the candies to see if they had marijuana, and they didn't. But this is not the first time that people have actually been arrested. And the 5 people that were arrested in this particular vehicle yesterday here in Alabama along I-65, cops actually smelled marijuana in the van. So the marijuana wasn't necessarily in the products. It was just in the van, and they have been arrested in the past for possession of marijuana, things like that.
You can see how this can get a little confusing, right? It's, is it in the products or not? So do they just sell the candy? Is that all that they're selling? And who's the target?
They're pretty much just selling candy for brownies, lollipops, gummies, things like that. And that's really the problem. A lot of people feel like these are targeted towards younger people, even kids, teenagers. And so I think that's why they probably pulled this vehicle over. Cops hadn't seen anything like this. But it is sort of interesting, the fact that there is no marijuana in their products, yet they're all over the place marketing the products like there is. So some people are going, okay, are they scamming people because they think they're getting products with marijuana in it? It's really, really odd. Yeah, it is. And again, 5 people arrested, but we're not sure if that's linked to any marijuana found inside the truck. What's next? Yeah, we believe it was just in the truck, just sort of they smelled it was just open in there somewhere, but not necessarily in the lollipops, brownies, or gummies, things like that.
Got it. All right, Devin, thanks so much for joining us from Mobile on Newsfeed Now. Well, did you know every day 500,000 kids and teens nationwide walk through the doors of the Boys and Girls Club across the country? Over the course of the year, those kids also get millions of free meals. To help support the Boys and Girls Club, many chapters conduct a Running of the Ducks event where you can adopt a duck. Caroline Marcello is at a quackathon in Lafayette, Louisiana, where they are raising money for the Boys and Girls Club. Hey, Caroline, this is a really great way to raise some money. Tell me, how does this all work?
Yes, well, I want to welcome y'all. This is the first ever Quackathon here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We have some awesome volunteers who have been here since 4 o'clock this morning, answering phones and getting ducks adopted. So the way it works for the Great Acadiana Running of the Ducks, we'll actually roll on some video from last year's event because it is really fun. These ducks go down a slide at Red Laurel's and they race down to the pool, and some lucky winners are picked, and there are great prizes. But it's all about raising money for the kids. It is all for the kids here in Acadiana and all day here at KLFY. So you can go to runningoftheducks.com if you'd like to buy a duck. Anybody can win. We will get in contact with you if your duck is picked and your duck makes it down the slide. We're getting calls right now. So this has just been a great morning for us, and we'll be doing this all afternoon. So it's a busy day here at our first ever Quackathon.
Yeah, Caroline, that's the sound we want to hear. We want to hear those phones ring, and this is such a great way to raise money. Are there any other ways that they're looking at getting funding for the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, well, they raise money throughout the entire year because it really is, the Boys and Girls Clubs throughout the country are supported by the community, and we've been trying really hard to get the message out there of what the Boys and Girls Clubs do, what they are. They're so much more than an after-school activity. They provide, like you said, meals for kids after school. They have different programs. Children get the opportunity to travel to different events. I know they have Smart Girls is one of the programs that they do. It's just so much more than just an after-school activity, and it really is supported by the community. So they have fundraisers throughout the year, but this is our big fundraiser this year. We have a bunch of sponsors, and just getting the community to support an organization like the Boys and Girls Club is really important to us here.
It definitely is important. Thank you so much, Caroline, and for all the work that you're doing out there. Let's go raise some more money for the Boys and Girls Club. You know, just to let you know, Monday night in Texarkana, Arkansas, the Board of Directors actually approved a resolution for submitting a federal loan application for almost $900,000 to update the old Boys and Girls Club there. The existing building has been dormant several years, and so once restored, the facility will provide youth, adult, and senior recreational services. All right, well, that's a look at some of our top stories that are trending all across the South. Thanks so much for watching us right here on Newsfeed Now. Have a great Tuesday.